Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be touching base on things that help me get out of my dark night of the soul. Some of these things may help you. Some of them aren't for everybody, but nonetheless, I figured that I might as well make a video and try to shed some light on the things that worked for me. For any of you guys that probably haven't watched my videos, I went into a little bit more depth about my past history. So I'm not going to really disclose all that into this video, but just so you do know, my dark night kind of lasted for like 25 years, give or take, because I ended up being abused, sexually molested, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But nonetheless, 12 out of 16 of those years, I was somewhat suicidal. Briefly, again, 11 years ago, my life kind of hit rock bottom. And then from there, I kind of slowly started reconstructing my life. These things that I'm going to be touching base on today is what I kind of used within the last 2 to 3 years. Which I happened to be fortunate enough to enter into a hermit period where I actually quit my job where I was making 6 figures, and I had plans to go traveling and whatnot, but some other circumstances kind of took hold, and I was kind of stuck in one spot. Nonetheless, as many know, rejection is divine redirection. So even though I had plans and I was divinely guided to do something else. All right, so here, like I said, I'm going to be touching base on all the stuff, or some of the stuff that helped me get through my dark night of the soul. And as you can see, I have a little bit of like the subjects that we're going to be going over. The first and foremost is you must learn about yourself. All right, that's pretty much a given. But some of the ones that help me learn is a Myers-Briggs. And Myers-Briggs is pretty much just your personality type. So even though I was ENFP, I'm not really extroverted. I'm more, and I'm not really introverted either. So I kind of fluctuate between ENFP and an INFJ or an INFP. Regardless, I feel like I'm not an introvert or an extrovert. I'm more like an outrovert, which is a relatively new kind of like description for a personality type. Other than your Myers-Briggs, another one is check out astrology, like your natal chart and stuff. That sheds light phenomenally on who you are as a person. Regardless if you don't believe in it or not, just give it a chance, like type in your information and read about yourself, because my personal experience, it hits the nail right on top of the head. And if you don't really know much about astrology, what you mainly want to look for are your rising, your sun sign, and your moon. Those are the main 3 important ones. But obviously, if you want to get more depth, you can start looking like asteroids, and obviously how the planets aspect your houses. But just to give like a quick personalized description of what astrology is, your sun sign is pretty much like your main character type. Your rising sign is your personality type, and then the moon sign is pretty much how you process information internally. So that's like your emotional basis. Other than your astrology, you could also check out your life path number, and that's very simple to figure out. All you do is take your birthday, so the day, the month, and then the year, add up all those numbers, and then that sum you condense down to a single digit. So for me, say for instance, you add it all up and then you get 29, and then you add the 2 and the 9 together, And then that is pretty much my life path number, because I am an 11 life path. You don't reduce down the 11s, the 22s, or the 33s. Those are considered master life path numbers. So they are standalone, and you don't reduce those down. Another number you can look out is your expression number. Your expression number is a little bit longer to figure out, but you take this chart. I'll hold it up if you want to take a quick screenshot of it. And then you literally take that and you take your first, middle, and last name and you add them all up. And then again, you condense those numbers down into a single digit as well. Both the life path and your expression number can give you an added depth to who you are as a person. Another thing that might not be too like pivotal for people, but I've found it to be absolutely transforming for my life personally, and that is to... Pen's kind of dying. Let me switch colors. It is... Ooh. Expand your vocab. Ooh. Writing's looking a little rough. Expanding your vocabulary is one of the biggest things that transformed my life, because one, not only are you able to not only know what other people are saying, but you're able to communicate yourself more effectively, and you're able to pretty much discover words that give different descriptions on how to reflect yourself and your character. So the reason why when you expand your vocab, I feel like you're able to pretty much navigate through your shadow work a lot easier, because you're able to determine different like characteristic flaws, or whatever you might want to deem them, eccentricities. You can notice them a lot more acutely, and you can cut them out if you don't like them. Other than those, that pretty much sums up learning about yourself, or a little bit of it. So I'm going to erase that so I got room, because it's kind of hard for me to write. So expression, Myers-Briggs, your astrology, your natal chart, and life path numbers. Next up is learn how to shock your system. I'm not saying that you have to become like an allegory and pretty much live an ascetic lifestyle where you spread cremated remains all over your body, and yeah, you don't have to live that kind of life. What I mean by shocking your system, you can have 1, cold showers. Obviously, cold showers, ice plunges, they all do the same thing. They help like re-regulate your nervous system. So I'm not really going to get too much into that. Like, they're kind of self-explanatory. Other than cold showers, you can fast. Now, fasting has a decent amount of health benefits, so I did take a quick moment and write some down. Fasting promotes cellular repair after 16 to 24 hours of fasting. Fasting can lower blood pressure. It can increase brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNFs, which support the growth of new neurons and may enhance memory and focus. After 48 to 72 hours of fasting, it can trigger stem cell-based regeneration of the immune system. And also, research in animals suggests fasting can slow the aging process and extend the lifespan by improving stress resistance and reducing oxidative damage. So obviously, yeah, I didn't know that. I do suggest you guys do some of your own research and decide if fasting is good for you, because obviously not all bodies are created equal. So if you want to, consult your physician to see if fasting is good for you. Other than fasting, another type anyways is technological. Wow, I messed that word up. Technology fast. Why can't I write right now? Technology fast. Pretty much just reset the dopamine, your dopamine input. Yeah, again, that's self-explanatory. What I did, I ended up turning my phone off and unplugging my TV for about a week to reset my dopamine levels. Sorry, don't know what's going on with my throat right now. You can also do a parasite cleanse. Parasite. To kind of rid your body of unnecessary waste. The parasite cleanse I do is DE, which is diatomaceous earth, and bentonite clay. I kind of put that in with my apple cider vinegar, a little bit of iodine, some honey, and mix that all up into a drink. And then, excuse me, you do want to do that for a few weeks, just to kind of flush out all the parasites and its larvae. And the one thing that always gets me out of a slump when I feel like I'm being stuck in like a rut or whatnot is sleeping on the floor. It is hard to fucking write like that. Again, sleeping on the floor is not for everybody. Like, I'm not saying that you should, but for me, for some reason, like every time I do it, I instantly am able to flip a switch and go charging ahead without like any fatigue. Again, you might want to check with your physician if you're able to sleep on the floor, and just like some disclaimers. If your body's not used to laying on hard surfaces, you will get bruises to start off with, so take it kind of nice and easy. Yeah, obviously just use your own discernment. I'm not here trying to tell you guys what to do. I'm just trying to share stuff that helped me, and all this stuff I did do within the past 2 years. So, and a little bit throughout all my shadow work for all that time. But all right, there's that. Another thing, when you're learning stuff, you're able to really grasp stuff from anybody and anything. To be honest, I learned a lot from how I was as a child, just watching my niece like grow up. I was like, man, that's how kids are supposed to be, and it helped me kind of redirect my thinking and my programming that happened when I was younger. Other than all that, just you can learn from other people, obviously. Yeah, you guys get it. Next, you want to cut people from your life that no longer serves your highest good. So, people or things you want to, I don't really have to write that. You want to reevaluate your friendships. Because not everyone that you are friends with might have your best interest at heart. So use your discernment with that as well. I'm not saying cut everybody out of your life. You don't have to become some crazy fanatic with it. But some people truly do send you an evil eye, and they don't want to see you succeed. Yeah. And then as you progress and cutting stuff out of your life, whether that's drugs, TV, kind of anything that kind of holds you in a state from not progressing. The reason why you want to cut stuff out is, one, because it allows you to see who you are in like that liminal space, like when you're trying to work through stuff, and that's the space where true change actually occurs. So you have to get down to those kind of like depths of yourself to see what you're actually made of. Other than all that, and you're able to start setting like healthy boundaries, especially if you're in a situation where, let's say, you're in a family environment where you grew up in like an enmeshment style. Speaking again from my own personal experiences, and then having to start setting boundaries on the new aspect on who you've become. This will shake some foundations in your life because people aren't ready for it, but you have to stay confident within yourself and pretty much know what your worth is. Again, if you're having issues, especially me, I used to get stuck in my head, and I wasn't able to like express myself like nicely to people. Half the time I would end up in like a catatonic state where I would like freeze and not be able to speak, not be able to move, and I felt like I was in the clutches of just whatever the universe wanted to throw at me. As you're able to start setting healthy boundaries, one thing that helped me to overcome this, to set healthy boundaries, is, oddly enough, reading out loud. Reading out loud strengthens your brain to mouth connection. So as you're getting those thoughts, you're able to like start spitting them out. And again, along the vein of reading out loud, write things down. I'm not a big person for like journaling, so I'm not going to promote that. Although that is very good, especially for you to express yourself. Since I don't journal, I do write down a lot of stuff like on cards or in books, just like some random thoughts. I don't consider it journaling because I'm not really doing it every day. But the reason why writing stuff down helps you, especially to comprehend stuff, is not only are you trying to remember or think stuff, you're visually looking at it, and you're transcribing it. So you're doing 3 things at once. So you're getting the triple the benefit. Other than all that, if you're feeling like you're kind of stuck still, like within like the aspect of, I don't know, a language, try learning a different one. Expand your horizons on learning, because the truth is we really don't know much of anything. Or I'm not going to try to say that for everybody. Me, the more I learn, the more I know nothing. All in all this amounts down to, you want to try to find your purpose. You want to find an anchor that works for you. And what I mean by that can be spirituality, your religion, or your just like your passionate purpose. Anything that drives you forward and makes you a better person. For me, my personal anchor is trying to unveil the secrets of the universe. All right, that's what really gets me going. But yeah, not really trying to get into too much of that. A way that you can end up finding like your purpose and whatnot, if you want to try to become a better person. I'm not saying you have to do this. 2 things you can do is the microcosmic orbit, which is just a practice to help circulate the energy within your body. And then also the sacred secretion. The sacred secretion is a monthly lunar-based cycle that takes place every month. And you can follow it just by following the moon around the astro clock. And the astro clock I use, I believe, is AstroSeek. Don't quote me on that, but just find an astrology chart that clocks the movements of the planet. And then you just find your sun sign. And when the moon goes around and enters the sign before your sun sign, that's when the process starts. So it's a total of 7 days. And depending on how you live within that time frame, you want like a more alkaline based diet. You can abstain from sexual activity, alcohol, and again, this is just like a quick crash course, if you will. I'm not getting into too much detail about it, but this is said to heighten your consciousness. So you get 12 times per year to kind of become a better person. And why not? It's 1 week per month. Like, I feel like anybody can dedicate a week per month to trying to become a better human. Another one, like I said, microcosmic orbit, that you're focusing on the energy within your lower dantian. And as you inhale, you squeeze your perineum, and then you focus that energy that you send your lower dantian, which is your stomach. You visualize that coming up as you squeeze your perineum, and then as you're inhaling, you're visualizing it come up your spine, over top your head, and then right here is where your governing vessel ends in your upper gum, which is your GV28. And then it goes, use your tongue to connect the bridge to your CV24, which is in the center of your chin. And as you're exhaling is when you're letting it all come back down your conception vessel. And then you just continue that cycle. So it's just like a continuous cycle. Inhale, squeeze, visualize it coming up over top of your head, back down, exhale, back to your stomach. And it's supposed to bring more mindfulness and stability to your everyday life. Those are just a few things that you can do. Again, just to reread them: fasting, cold showers, technology fast, parasite cleanse, sleeping on the floor, sobriety, breath work. Not sure if I said breath work yet, but breath work is important too. Write things down, expand your vocab, read out loud. 222 on the clock, 2222 on the clock. And that's pretty much all I have. Bye.